Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you the classic story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a merchant with his daughter. He loved his daughter, because she was beautiful and she had a wonderful, kind, sweet heart. But one day his wife died and he decided to remarry. So he remarried this woman who is very selfish and cruel, and she had two daughters that were just like her. This stepmother would force the stepdaughter to wash the pot, scrub the floor, and tend to the fire and do laundry all day long. This poor girl did not even have a bed of her own, but she lay every night in front of the fireplace and rose in the morning covered with cinders, and her stepsisters called her Cinderella. One day, the king of this gigantic palace sent out a letter saying that there was going to be a grand ball, and all of the single women in the nation were invited to this ball. So the stepsisters were so excited to go to this ball, and they were having Cinderella help them get ready for this ball. Cinderella finally said, "Can I please go to the ball?" "Certainly not," said her stepmother, and with that they left for the castle. Cinderella sat by the fire. She was crying, and a gentle voice asked her, "Why are you crying?" Cinderella jumped up and looked extremely scared. "Don't worry, my dear," said the woman. "I am your fairy godmother, and I will send you to the ball." "But, godmother, how am I going to go to the ball? I don't have a coach, nor do I have a dress." "Never fear," said the godmother, "and bring me a pumpkin from the garden." Cinderella had no idea what she was talking about, but she went out to the garden and brought her back a pumpkin. The godmother touched the pumpkin with the magic of her wand. She turned it into an elegant stagecoach. The magic turned 6 mice into prancing horses for the stagecoach. When the wand finally brushed Cinderella's rags, it turned into a beautiful, elegant blue dress. The fairy godmother said, "I need you to promise me one thing." Cinderella said, "Anything, fairy godmother." "You must promise me that you will be back by the stroke of midnight." Cinderella promised to come home by midnight and rode off to the ball. When Cinderella walked into the ballroom, everybody paused. It was just so beautiful when she walked down the stairs that they could not take their eyes off of her. The prince and Cinderella spent the evening together, dancing and talking and having a fantastic time. But before midnight, she knew it was time to go home, so she ran out the door. And she got to her house just before the stroke of midnight, and her stagecoach turned back into a pumpkin, and her horse turned back into mice, and her dress turned back into rags. So the next night, the prince decided to have another ball in hopes of meeting this wonderful woman that he had met the night before. They danced all night long, and of course midnight was coming, and so Cinderella decided that she needed to run out of the ball and leave. "Wait," the prince cried, and he was running after her, but when he caught up, all that he saw was a woman carrying a pumpkin. When Cinderella's stepsisters arrived at home, they were full of stories about the mysterious princess. "The prince swears he'll bring the slipper to every home in the kingdom," said these stepsisters, "and he'll marry the woman whose foot it fits." "Well, that woman's going to be me," said one of her stepsisters. "Oh no, that woman is going to be me," said the other sisters. The next day a servant arrived with the slipper in hand. He tried it on one sister and it did not fit, and he tried it on the other sister, and even though she tried to fit her foot into it, it did not fit too. Even the fairy godmother wanted to try. But the prince remembered Cinderella's voice and her gentle eyes and her sweet smile. He knelt down when he saw this woman, which was Cinderella, and he slipped the shoe on Cinderella's foot, and he was not surprised when it fit perfectly. "You are the princess I danced with," he said. "I knew it was you the minute I saw you." Cinderella and the prince were married shortly after that, and they stayed married, and they lived happily ever after.